Episode 134, 139. Jeez, I gotta get that shit right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Show Me Your News, the pinnacle for delivering and debating the gaming news that matters the most to you.
Rumor-filled gossip, hardware blunders, or upcoming releases.
If it relates to video games, we want to talk about it.
I am Yoko, and I am not cut out for physical construction work.
I am Super, and my character got nerfed in the most recent Project M patch.
I'm Tony, and I guess both of those things. So I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, we
I
are
don't know if they both Nerf Falcon. I don't know.
we are part
They
of
don't really
the
touch well.
part of the SMYN network over at ShowMeYourNews.com. And our top stories today for episode 139 of Show Me Your News on Sunday, July 21st, 2013. In keeping up with the Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS news, the biggest news this week was a new character, and he has a game that's recently out in Japan. Also, EVO 2013, the results are in from last weekend. We'll talk about that, specifically the hype Smash Bros. Melee footage and coverage. League of Fighters is a new 2D fighting game based off of the League of Legends game. We have some very special guests to talk about it, and I'll introduce them soon. The hilarity of the week, Zelda appeared on Jeopardy, the game show, and some semantics ensued here. We've got our story pool, some out recently, our soapbox, where we get on our soapbox and rant, and we'll end the show with the metagame. We'll explain then. I'll introduce my guests today, though. Samurai Panda and Mashumaro from the Instaburst team. Guys, welcome to the show. Samurai Panda, welcome back. Been a very long time. Good friend of the show.
Thank you very much. And of
Thanks
course,
for having us.
yeah, Mashimaro was our roommate back in the day.
Of course. Some may
so-
know him as Epic Proportions back from the old Show Me Your News days.
Oh, okay.
So we're not strangers to Show Me News.
No,
And-
we do appreciate the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys are from Instaburst. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Team Instaburst is basically just Mashimaro and I. But we've basically been recruiting people over the internet and have been kind of gathering a bunch of fans together to work on individual parts of the project while we guide them. Our team was roughly about 10 people before we did the trailer, and we had open recruiting, and we've had well over 200 applications now.
Wow.
And we're paring it down, and our team is going to be much, much bigger very soon. But in the end, it's still just Mash and I.
Wow, and you guys are creating League of Fighters from scratch. That's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. You'd be surprised. Well, maybe not, you wouldn't be surprised that finding people to do hand-drawn sprites, not the easiest thing in the world.
Not really, especially those who are talented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could probably do hand sprites, but they're not going to be any good. So,
Well, that doesn't stop some applications. We've gotten a couple people, a couple like 12-year-olds that drew napkins and said, "Can I draw for this game?" Probably not.
which champions
Short
did
answer,
they
no.
draw?
Hmm?
Did they draw any champions?
We tell them draw whatever champion you want, and it's usually someone. Sometimes we can't even tell. It's just really ugly.
One of them wasn't a champion, though.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, yeah, just please draw your favorite champion. It didn't draw a champion.
Yeah, he's like, "This is my own creation." It's like, that's not what we said, but
This is Pikachu.
Reading
That was
comprehension on the
interesting.
internet for the win.
That was Anther's application. He just drew Pikachu.
Andrew's application was like, "Hey, I'm Anther," and we're like, "Done."
Got it.
I like his profile on your team page.
Yeah, yeah. That was his profile on the test team page, and we liked it so much we told him just keep it. Just don't even like explain yourself. Just leave that.
And it'll be a mystery to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys are very familiar with the pre-Smash hype before a Smash Brothers game, and it continues with this latest Super Smash Brothers game for Wii U and 3DS. First, I gotta get your opinions. What do you think about the name? The name of the game.
It's to be expected. I mean, do you guys remember the debates even before Brawl was released? What will the next Smash be named? Because they're running out of like good words for that.
Cataclysm, Apocalypse.
See,
Gold.
those kind of suck
Yeah.
a little bit. So the name, whatever. I kind of saw it coming.
I just wish they had made it a little bit more cute, and instead of putting 4, They just put the letter or the number 4.
I thought there was no number.
There is no number. I wish they had used it
Oh.
and been cute. So instead of 4 3DS, as in FOR, they just put a 4 there.
Then again, when you talk to a non-avid Smasher, and they're like, "What Smash Brothers do you play?" I'm like, "Oh, I play Brawl." They're like, "Oh, well, is that the one on the GameCube?"
Yeah, it's just easier.
Yeah.
So in reality, people don't call Smash by its like extra title; they call it by the console it's on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does fall in line with what Nintendo's been doing lately with naming their new series. Like with the Mario Kart. It's Mario Kart 7 because it's the 7th one in the series.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know. I wish it was something catchier, and so instead of just saying like Smash U or Smash 3DS, we'd have something else to say when we're just talking casually about it, especially for a former and continuing Smash Brothers podcast. But we get to the updates this week from Miiverse because that's what Masahiro Sakurai is doing. He's putting pictures and some little captions out on Miiverse, and it's definitely different than the dojo. But let's see some of the recent pictures that have popped up. So the most recent one is Villager riding a gyroid as a rocket.
I guess that's his side B.
Rocket to the moon.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of disgusting for some reason.
Is
Not
it
entirely sure why.
is it a move? I don't know what it might be.
Maybe it's
Could
an
be an
item.
Yeah.
Possible.
It just looks so much like Luigi's side B. I'm like, that's probably a side B.
I
Is that a
suppose.
Pikmin humping Mega Man's foot?
Ah.
Sorry, I'm just. This is the first time I'm seeing this stuff. I didn't know about the Miiverse updates.
The 17th, it's Miiverse. Let's see. Pikmin is at least checking out Mega Man's foot. Probably could be giving it some loving.
Yeah, especially with the little quote there, treasure found.
Yeah.
Although there is one picture that is a little more suggestive. Let me try to find it here before we get to
So where
the
the
biggest
double attack?
update.
Please have the Wii Fit trainer.
This would be on July 10th, and it is the Wii Fit trainer.
Nice.
Mysterious solar power.
So
I don't-
she's Goku. Soul Flare.
Yes.
Maybe if that solar flare was a bit higher up and she was doing Spirit Bomb there, but right now it looks like it's coming out of her chest or her stomach.
I guess she's flashing you.
I guess so.
Did you guys ever play Wii Fit? Did you not know about the chest laser?
Played
You know
Wii
what?
Fit
Whenever
for
it said
maybe-
shoot your chest laser, I tried it, but it just never came out for me.
Well, you're
you
not
had
a
to be at a
woman.
certain BMI to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
I guess.
Mm.
I don't know. I played it for 15 minutes, maybe. I don't know. That's a bizarre one. But the biggest update from these past couple weeks is the announcement of Pikmin and Captain Olimar again. This was done on the eve of the Pikmin 3 release in Japan. And I found it most interesting, not just because, Olimar's back, that's nice, but when they released it on the website and all that, because now Olimar has a profile
Oh, yeah.
on SmashBros.com, these were all Wii U images. And I know it's nice to show off how good this game is looking so far, in HD and all that, but you do have two versions of the game now. And when you've had, discussions about how the 3DS is becoming more difficult when you have more characters on the screen, you're having trouble with characters like Ice Climbers where there are two. You have all these Pikmin, and wouldn't you show some of those to maybe elude some of those concerns?
Well, I'm just gonna point this out. There has been no picture with more than 3 Pikmin.
That's a good
Olimar
point.
seems to be being capped out at 3 Pikmin, which is what I think they're trying to do for making it fit in the 3DS when you have
That's
four
a good point.
Olimars.
Yeah, there's actually two things I have to say to that. One is we do know that all the characters are on both, and
Well, I know that they're
because-
going to be on both, but you'd think that they'd show that in a screenshot just to make sure.
well, at the same time, he did say. So it was an IGN article. Apparently, he asked the guy interviewing him at IGN, "What do you, what character would you like?" And the guy's like, oh, well, I would like, all 7 Bowser kids as one character, and you play as all of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah. This is
Character.
a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. But Sakurai's response was, you know what, we're having a lot of trouble even with double characters right now, like Ice Climbers.
Right.
So we couldn't do something to that, like on the 3DS, like the 3DS hardware. So I don't think we could do anything like that. So given that, maybe he's limiting the Pikmin to 3 because he wants them to be the same on the 3DS and the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I don't think he is, and I think it just makes for better pictures when he has 3.
I suppose that's true as well. Because then it limits his tether if he does recover the same way.
That is true. Maybe
Well,
his
just
like
probably
double
Link
jump
them
will be
together
better.
farther along, so it gets the same distance.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, kind of spread them out a little bit. That's a good point.
Or his just first 2 jumps are better or something. But I hope they're stronger if there's only 3, because there's a picture of Samus just jabbing them and they all die at the same time.
Yeah.
So that would be bad.
That's true. Another interesting thing to point out is the social media snafu that Nintendo of America kind of came
Heh.
across with this, because Super and Tony, they were over at my place when this update came out, and I'm showing them the tweet for Nintendo of America, which that might be still out there, but I know the Facebook status got edited soon after. They named the character Alpha, which is one of the 3 playable characters from Pikmin 3, and everyone's looking at it, it's like, that's Olimar. Why are you saying, here joining Smash Bros is Alpha? And it's clearly
they
not
actually-
Alpha, so.
And then we thought of Power Rangers for a while.
Aye.
He's a playable character in
Alpha 5.
Pikmin Alpha.
Since I know Pikmin, I want to say that it is a little. I was unsure about Olimar because of the new characters coming out in 3. So it is kind of cool that. Personally, I'm happy they went with Olimar, but it is weird to me. I thought they would have picked someone else,
Well, sure,
I'm-
especially when you consider, what they've done for Pokemon. They've, done the popular Pokemon at the time.
hmm
Which you got to think they might be going back to Mewtwo for something like that with the new movie that's going to be out in Japan and his new form, possibly Final Smash potential.
Then there's also the fact that I never really noticed this until just now, but he's got a little whistle thing on his helmet, which is really cool.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked at old art.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay,
that
yeah.
wasn't there before.
That's right. It's right there.
He uses a whistle. That makes a lot of fucking sense, actually. It's a good job.
What you're telling me is that there was a big oops, and Captain Alf is in the game, but no one
Yeah.
makes a big deal about it.
Pretty much.
I would have seen that on like Kotaku or something if people noticed it.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
kinda weird.
I'm in the party that says this actually means that there is 2 Pikmin reps in this game,
Really?
and I think that I would really think so, because there's 2 new types of Pikmin in this game, in Pikmin 3. What better way than to have the old one and the new one at the same time?
No,
That makes sense.
Come on, guys. Did you guys click on the Olimar page on the Smash Boards website or Smash Bros website?
Maybe
I
a
have
while ago.
not.
Yeah, at the bottom there's a freaking link to Pikmin 3.
Yeah, well, that was just advertising.
Exactly. Why? Pikmin 3 is going to be one of the big sellers for the Wii U. Of course, they're going to have more than one character from the game because it's going to be one of their biggest games in the Wii U right now. That's like a seller for the Wii U, and the Wii U is floating in the water right now. Well, sinking, I guess, in the water right now.
hmm
So they need all the advertising they can get. That's just my 2 cents personally.
I suppose, but I think when character spots are going to be at a premium for this game, especially when they talk about the 3DS's limitations, I don't know how I'd feel about 2 different Pikmin representatives.
At the same time, because character space is a premium, and clearly this Alf guy is basically just Olimar with blue hair, making a Falco Fox kind of melee style clone with different properties that feel completely different as characters, that would actually increase the roster on the 3DS without increasing that much space required.
hmm
Probably.
But especially if considering that the red, blue, and yellow Pikmin would be shared between the 2.
Yeah, that's true too. 'Cause
And then
those
you
are
have the
all
rock and flying Pikmin.
Oh. There's
I
no.
wonder if flying would be recover.
I don't know.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, so I think that's why we're gonna see Alpha as another Pikmin rep.
Mm.
Is
And,
he one of the 3 characters or anything? I just feel like they just
Yeah.
goofed on the name.
I want to say they goofed on the name, but at the same time, the way I see it, they have the new Pikmin types. They want to kind of get those games out, have everyone buy the games. It's like, hey, look, my favorite character is, favorite character to use is Alpha in this new game. What's he like in his game? It's just one big advertisement.
But is one of them Alpha, like in Pikmin 3? I don't think they were they? Like, there's 3 characters. I don't remember one of them being called Alpha.
Yeah, it's
Captain
Alpha,
Alice.
Brittany, and
Is it?
Charlie, I think. Something
Okay,
like
well then never mind. Somebody
Yeah.
in the chat asked about costume change, and Sakurai actually came out and said he doesn't believe in that because it takes the uniqueness away from the character, and that's a
Yeah.
bunch of BS. But
Yeah.
that is what he said.
By the way, when Panda said that if you look on Olimar's page, you'll see the Pikmin 3 link. I see that, but I also went through all the pictures, and I hadn't looked at these before.
Mhm.
But yeah, none of these pictures show more than 3 Pikmin. I was talking about the Miiverse photos that had Olimar Pikmin in it. So I think this further goes for the fact that I think we're only going to have 3 Pikmin.
It's an interesting thing to point out for sure.
Yeah, and even if we do, whatever, he'll bounce it for that.
Yeah.
It'll be
Oh yeah,
interesting.
that's fine. I'm still gonna try to get 3 purples.
I hope they balance the tether recoveries like they do in Project M.
Mash, you got any thoughts on this Olimar
Well,
news?
I think maybe I think there's a good possibility that there's the Alf might make it in the game, just because they are introducing a lot more Pikmin, or the 2 new Pikmin, and just being like having like so many different Pikmin on one character, it's easier to probably separate them over to the other one.
Mhm.
So like Alpha come in with like the 2 new Pikmin or something like that, and
Yeah.
share a couple in between. That way, at least the 2 characters would have a very unique feel, especially if there's a lot of gameplay differences within the Pikmins themselves.
If you want to do it like that, just have Olimar keep the purple and white ones, and they just have the 2 unique ones to 3, and that'll probably even out fine.
It's possible. And at the very least, you get Purple Pikmin doing his thing to Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, EVO
Yeah.
was last weekend. Very interesting tournaments. I know the big draw for our community was the Smash Brothers Melee finals, which you gotta say for that top 8, that was pretty much it was a dream matchup. Like how much more could you want for those top 8?
Ken.
Character
Ken,
diversity
right.
everywhere.
Ken
Do
would
you
have
guys
been
have
nice.
Ken wearing his Survivor hat when he was playing? Oh god, it was so bad.
Oh, Ken. Good times watching Ken on Survivor Gabon.
Top 3.
It's true. You had a top 8. You got Ice and Shroomed at top 7. Mewtwo King and Dr. Peepee at 5. Armada 4. That was surprising. Hungry Box 3. Wobbles 2 and Mango 1. I want to know you guys' big takeaways from the Melee finals.
Mine personally, I'll tell you, is what the FGC said after the Melee finals. They said this game's pretty hype.
Yeah.
And if you read the forums afterwards, they're like, yeah, Melee was like pretty like awesome. Like we'd like to see it back. It was like really, really cool and like really fun to watch. So if it broke the boundaries of the FGC and the Smash communities, which is a pretty big boundary in my opinion, I think they're pretty damn hype.
They were great, yeah.
I'm just glad Wobbles lost.
Love
I
you,
know-
Wobbles, but
It's like it's kind of fun to watch the first couple times, but like I know you can't just win tournaments just by wobbling. I mean, you have to find a way to get the grab and etc. like that. Just I didn't want that to be what everyone walks away with for Melee.
Yeah, we were
Is-
talking about this on our Project M special. And no, you're right. It does take more to progress this far, especially, and it's not just all based on the grab. Sure, it was a big part of Wobbles' game, and he was the one who's perfected it over all this time. But his solo Popo, the Sopo,
Oh man,
gameplay,
that was just so
that stuff
beautiful
was
to watch.
great. I mean, there is absolutely talent there, but no, you're right. I mean, when you're talking about the impression that you're trying to make on the fighting game community and what you want people to walk away with, granted, the whole infinite combo thing is some sort of strange validation, I suppose, but you don't want to say like, oh, that's a game that gets broken just by doing that.
Yeah.
I-
I just thought for people who don't play Melee all that often, as an outsider's perspective, I think wobbling is the worst thing you could be doing on the
The big stage.
on stream on the big stage. Yeah.
But whatever, he was trying to win money.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
We can't blame him at all. I've never watched competitive Smash with like people who knew what the hell was going on, so it was a lot of fun. And I'm really surprised to see such a good like Jigglypuff out of all things.
The
And
Jigglypuff's
also-
really good in Melee.
Yeah, and also
Yeah, Hungry
that,
Box did really well.
oh yeah, and also
Dude,
that
but what about that moment where that look on his face when he found out it wasn't best of 5, though?
that sucked.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was
rough.
King of
Partially.
Fighters just an hour too long. Everyone else got screwed over.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be
Also-
best of 5.
Also, remember that Toad recovery with our
Yeah.
That was good, too.
I'm just glad Mango finally beat Armada. That was really cool to watch. And
Well, I mean,
finally,
it
we
had
take
been a long time, like 6 months or so, or no more than that.
yeah.
since
I think every time I watched Mango fight Armada, he lost. I mean, for the last maybe 3 years, I don't think he took a single win off Armada. So to do it at Evo, after Armada said he was coming out of retirement for it,
Right.
And it's hard to
Probably
say how
big.
much practice Armada had, but
well, he's been playing a lot of Project M. I know, rocking a
it's
pit.
different.
It'll be interesting to see if
Different,
Project M, I think, takes over the place of Melee in the future. When Smash 4 comes out, Brawl's gonna die.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I think Brawl players would be happy to switch over to a new game.
Especially, with Project M, Brawl's been dying a slow death.
Exactly.
At least locally here.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see in the future, is Project M going to be the one that stays on instead of Melee? Or is it Melee? Because like Melee has a lot of issues with it that going in the future, it's going to be so friggin' hard to play Melee in tournament. Like CRTs, like someone on Evo was commenting
Yeah.
about this. You see all these flat screen HD TVs everywhere, and then all of a sudden you see the Smash section, and they got the crappiest TVs with built-in VHS, like old TVs, like just
we
so
can
they
watch
play.
Aladdin after.
Seriously, and that's probably makes the tournament even better. You get to watch some old Disney movies afterwards.
Yeah, dude.
But I mean, like there's just logistical problems with the GameCube in general.
Yeah, and they almost had issues with people, being able to bring TVs, and some people were flaking, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's hard to say though because it's like, oh, maybe they'll switch over, but they've stuck with a 12-year-old game. It's like, will they
Well-
want to switch over?
You kind of have to switch over to Smash 4 because I think you get lag from an HDTV even if you're running it through a Wii U.
Yeah, you do.
So Project M, while we would love to use it, it's still going to run the problem of using CRTs.
Now, what about Nintendo of America's role in this, and how we almost got the chance, or almost didn't get the chance, to see Melee streamed? I mean, pretty incredible to have, just a few days before the tournament, Nintendo of America
idiots.
gets a lawyer or someone in the legal department to say, hey, you can't stream this, and then, word trickles out later after they reverse their position a few hours later, that the original request was to have the game pulled from the tournament entirely.
And
I
they-
mean, you got to wonder about the story behind that.
So there was something I read, and I don't know if this is real at all, so give it a grain of salt. I didn't see any sources for it, but someone on one of the Reddit threads actually said that the Shoryuken guys went to them like a few days before the tournament. Like they contacted every other company and got the okay, except Nintendo, and went to Nintendo a few days before, and they're like, yo, this is happening. And Nintendo was like, no, don't. And they debated them down to just revoking stream rights, and then used the bad publication, all the bad press, to get back that too. It makes the Shoryuken guys, the Evo guys, sound like the bad guys here, but still, it is Nintendo's policy to be dicks now. Like they're shutting down a lot of videos, fan videos, they're making money on other people's videos by putting their own ads.
I don't know if
onto
that's
it.
still going on as much.
It is, as far as I
Yeah.
like. After reading this whole like problem,
Yeah, I think it still is. Yeah.
I don't know because like the completionist just uploaded that Mario 64 video. So maybe it's like if you're under a certain company like the Game Station, they'll protect you. I don't know how it works.
I don't know. Maybe the ads on that video are going to Nintendo for all you know.
Possibly.
It's hard to say.
Maybe. Depends if they
Because
tag it
that's
or
what
not.
they're doing. Like
Nintendo
popular
might-
videos.
Nintendo said they were reversing their policy on those Let's Plays and all that, so I don't know if it's been a complete reversal or just, pick and choose now.
Regardless, Nintendo is just they are making the wrong decisions all of a sudden. The last
Oh,
couple
I
years,
agree.
No,
Yeah. Their PR has been absolutely awful.
I mean, you got to think that the charity angle has to be what turned it around. Like,
Oh, no question.
yeah.
They
by
saw
the
those on it.
way, these guys raised almost $95,000 just to have this in a tournament, and you want that to all go bye-bye.
When
No.
that when
No.
that broke and there were headlines that said Nintendo takes down charity run, they were like crap.
Yeah.
Because it did
Last
There you
not
go.
take long. It did not take long at all for them to be like, never mind.
yeah, that's not. It's not Nintendo saying, "Oh, charity." No, it's Nintendo saying, "Oh, damn it, charities. We can't just shut them down."
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can be
You wanna
dicks. We can't be too big of dicks.
hmm
Yeah.
So-
I did see someone tweet shortly after that. It's like, well, it's Sony's turn to do something stupid and then immediately turn around.
Oh, do a 180? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony's making all the right choices now. Even their music.
Maybe they
system,
started-
their-
I was it's like maybe they started a common sense division.
I think that they're realizing the common sense division is what is selling their stuff now, because the PS4 pre-orders went like because it's like very low DRM or DRM free is through the roof. They went to their music everywhere or music online or whatever the hell is Sony's music.
Unlimited, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Music Unlimited, and they removed the DRM on that, so now you can play it on like every Sony device you have instead of buying it on every single one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sony is actually the first company that's starting to get it, that hurting the consumer to punish the few consumers that abuse the system is a horrible
Yeah.
idea.
It's not going to end well for you.
No.
No.
And that's a lesson that Nintendo is going to start learning very quickly, because it's starting to take this new like hard-handed approach to things, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but I'm sure there's a business reason behind that. Like some big consultant going down to all the big companies telling them the wrong thing.
I even wonder if it's Nintendo of America being the bearer of bad news when the decision might have come from Nintendo of Japan. You don't know. We don't know the story, so it's hard to speculate. But then the Melee stream gets about 135,000 views, which was a fighting game record at the time. Granted, it was eventually surpassed by Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but for the time,
still
like,
amazing.
That's a great feather in the cap.
Yeah.
And a lot of people too, which I thought was really nice, were tweeting at Nintendo of America saying, "Thank you for letting us do this." And I hope they got that message as well.
It's a good
Hope
point.
and did are different things, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
We were
As-
trending and stuff. It was cool.
As far as
Yeah.
other things at EVO, they had certain demos like Killer Instinct, and that went on stage, and the producers, I think they were from Double Helix, brought up Xbox One. And if you thought, what was it, Sony a couple years ago dropping the AT&T and that got boos, it was tough to tell on stream because of how they were balancing the microphone and the game audio versus the audience sound. But that sounded like a pretty stern.
I heard on site it was
boo.
pretty vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes to show, what Microsoft's been doing and how the gamer has kind of embraced their ideas of what to do for the next system. Especially when, Killer Instinct is, originally free to play but only one character and these kinds of things.
Not made by Rare, even though most of Rare is gone, it doesn't even have that little logo over it.
Right.
Have you guys did you guys see the gameplay of it? Like I play like every fighting game I can touch, and I was confused as hell as what was going on.
I didn't see it, no.
It was
I don't know.
so hard to follow along.
I did hear
I-
somebody say the only way it could be more obnoxious is if you actually had to yell combo breaker at the Connect.
That's a
That'd
good
actually be
one.
a lot more fun.
Or ultra combo. And I think they just slap that on its Killer Instinct, and not
Because
really.
apparently they have combo breakers and then counter combo breakers, and I think there's even a counter combo breaker. So like, this just that like
Counter
Inception.
combo breaker.
It's comboception. Okay, like you're like
breaker.
or Exhibit got his
combo
hands
break
on
within a
Instinct.
combo within a combo break.
Jeez.
Yeah,
And
I heard
there's
you like
just
I heard
no
you like
visual
combo
cues
breaker,
at
so I put a
all.
combo breaker in your combo breaker.
X to the Z.
Mm-hmm.
Then they also had, rumors were kind of floating around a few days before, and there was talk of Hyper Street Fighter 4, where it would be an expansion. They'd have 5 new characters. It ended up being Ultra Street Fighter 4. And still it's an expansion. I'm surprised in a way surprised, and in also a way not, that it didn't go next gen. It's still sticking to 360 and PS3. $40 purchase outright if you don't have any Street Fighter version. $15 DLC upgrade, just like the past couple versions. Arcade Edition, 2012, and all that. But you get some new characters, including, if I forgot to bring up the list, but you have Poison, Rolento, Elena,
And
Hugo. Thank you. It's a good call. And then there's
And someone they haven't showed yet, yeah.
supposedly a 5th character
It's the Mega Man.
who has his debut in fighting games.
Debut in Street Fighter, I thought.
On
they said.
Street Fighter. Okay. Still,
Doesn't rule out Mega Man, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't. Basically, they just took the cross Tekken characters and they just gave them slightly different coloring,
Exactly, yeah.
and they put them in Street Fighter 4. But I mean, regardless, I think bigger than the news of the new characters was actually how they rebalanced it, where they got fan feedback and
Yeah.
they were like, fans in Japan and America, what do you think? How should we rebalance the game?
Right.
And they were able to take that and supposedly successfully, balance the game out a little bit.
I think they're also trying to do this with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as well. Like they mentioned something like that at Comic-Con, that they're looking into
That's
possibly
gonna be my
doing.
rant. So hold
Okay.
off on that.
Zip into lips.
But also not a grossly overpriced. You have to buy this thing. You can just pay $15 to
And it's
upgrade
coming
it.
in 2014 though too.
My big question is, I didn't get the one with Yun and Yang and a couple other characters. Like, is it still $15 for me to get Yun and Yang and these characters?
I think they said any version of Street Fighter, so I would imagine.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm stuck at Super. I didn't get any of the Arcade Edition versions, so. Yeah, I've been
I
missing those
went to
ones.
Youmacon and played Street Fighter for the first time, and promptly got my face stomped in. I don't think I'll be picking this up.
It's a different game than Smash for sure.
Wait,
Oh, no question.
You picked up a fighting game for the first time and you lost? No.
I know. It's I don't know what happened to the beginner's luck, but I was also, for reference, fighting someone who also had picked it up for the first time.
Oh.
So you're just like, oh, this isn't going to work out.
Yeah, I mean it was a long.
Were they using
painful
Blanca?
process. Yes, actually.
Well, that's not a good way to tell at all.
They learned
charge,
how to
like a
do the
charge.
little. Yeah, they learned how to thunder charge, and I'm just kind of like, see, Viper, why don't you play like you do in Ultimate Marvel?
Although
Wait,
Super,
you
I have
play
to.
Ultimate Marvel and you didn't know how to use Sea Viper in Street Fighter 4?
She was not listening to my commands.
Oh, then
That's
he's also
it.
like a really high tech skill character, so yeah.
Super, I have to kind of object. You played Shaq Fu. And
That's
you had a
right.
character, what was it, Memphis, who had lightning strikes that came out of nowhere, and you somehow got around that.
You should be able to.
I
That's
think no
true.
Johns.
I'm too pro at Shaq Fu, but
I feel bad because all this Blanca's an asshole thing has just started to come out, and I've always used Blanca, and I feel bad
You should
over the
feel
last
bad.
10 years of Street Fighter. I just like his design, and now I found out he's a dick. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
now I'm a dick.
Well, let's get to our third headline here. We have the guys from Team Instaburst here, Samurai Panda and Mashumaro. League of Fighters. Tell us about it.
Well, the popular game League of Legends, we decided to take that and transform it into a 2D fighter, and we are making it all from scratch. It's a very interesting game system that includes cooldowns on your special attacks, smash controls as well, to make it better and lower barrier of entry to play. And it's going to be free to play when it's released. It's going to have DLC that's also free, and we hope to update the game like every month or two with a new character, more balance, and just make it overall an awesome game.
Awesome, awesome. And your biggest news recently was that Riot, the developers behind League of Legends, now have your support as well.
Yeah. You want to take this one?
Yeah, we've been in contact with them, and they clarified very much that we fit within their legal guidelines for fan projects. So if you're more interested, or if you're further interested in this subject, go to the Riot Games' legal jibber jabber page. It's all outlined there. There's a lot of different things about YouTube, fan projects, fan pages, fan apps, and stuff like that.
Right.
And so they're cool with us. So we're not going to get C&D'd like the Fighting is Magic guys.
Right, and that's the big comparison I think a lot of people have been making, because it's the same fighting engine that the Fighting is Magic people did use, but you guys are not going to be running in the same kind of demise that they have.
Not as long as we're smart.
You guys are smart, so I know you'll do a great job with it.
They had to take away Pinkie Pie out of the roster, but they'll be okay.
And thus the game was broken. Now, you guys released a trailer to announce this a couple weeks ago. And tell us about what was the kind of the process behind coming up with that trailer, what you wanted to show, how you wanted to show it, and also the reaction that you guys have gotten.
Well, to create the trailer is actually kind of funny. We struggled to create it because this fan project is a lot of work. Hand-drawn sprites are a lot of work. Our artist had just disappeared at one point in time. We were so close to the trailer. And so we had a moveset artist who just drew like keyframes, like 1 or 2 frames per move to kind of show what it's going to look like. So then our real artist can, sketch out the whole 10-frame attack.
Right.
And at some point we literally just had our color the moveset art. And we were really creative in how we were able to pull off some of the attacks and make them look real. But this game is truly pre-alpha.
Oh, yeah.
To get the trailer out was a huge deal to us, and we really, really, really wanted to get it before EVO. So some of our effects are borrowed from other games, which we've been called out on a couple times, especially by the FGC, because they recognize the games we took them from. And obviously, we're going to have our own original art for it now. But at the time, we just wanted to get it out before EVO, so we did whatever we could to speed up that process. And you can see the results. Our trailer has 725,000 views on it right now.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So this, we're so happy. Like we wanted like 100,000 within a week. Like that would have been, because 100,000 is, I guess, what businesses describe as a viral video. So we wanted to hit that viral limit like within like a week or maybe a month. That would have been awesome. And we hit it in the first few hours.
So the response was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, interesting fact, because we have access to the analytics for the video, but 0.5% of the population of Taiwan, the entire country of Taiwan, has seen the video. So
Wow.
shout outs to those guys.
Whoa.
Taiwan.
Shout out to Taiwan.
To be honest, our biggest fan base besides America is Brazil.
Oh, cool.
A lot of people in Germany and France also love our game. We get a lot of applications too from people from all over the world. Like I think just this morning we had an application from someone in Thailand. The only reason I know is Thailand is because I had to go to Google Translate and figure out what the hell those like squiggly lines meant. So it's crossing some boundaries.
So, what has been the best feedback you've gotten? At the same time, what's been some of the harshest feedback, and is there some sort of response that you have to that harsh feedback?
Well, I would say the best feedback is basically everyone just saying yes, please, oh God, like please take my money, shut up and take my money.
Shut up and take my money, but we can't because can't.
Yeah, I think it eventually devolved to shut up and take nothing.
Literally on our FAQ, we now have a frequently asked question. One of them is on a question. One of them is literally just shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
That's one of our points on our FAQ that we had to address because so many people wanted to give us money.
It's got to be really humbling, though.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's just astounding, honestly, like the
yeah.
response. And I guess the biggest
Couldn't you
negative stuff-
theoretically make a Kickstarter and say that it's for the game and just take the
No.
money?
Yes and no. So we talked to Riot. We actually had a Skype call with Riot community managers.
Oh, wow.
And we asked them a couple questions, and when that was one of them, if we ever wanted to, could we do that? And they said it would be really difficult. Default answer is no, but like if we wanted to, it would be a much bigger Skype call with lawyers, signatures, and a lot
Everything
of
on
red
paper,
tape.
everything written, and it'd just be a huge,
Nah.
a big endeavor, a big endeavor.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I never really knew how those things worked anyway. I figured
Yeah, well-
it would be a pain in the butt, but
Yeah, we're on some like legal eggshells right here. We got to walk softly.
Well, sure, gotta
Of
be
course.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can make ad revenue. So at least we're paying for the server costs for the website and stuff, which is like $300-400 down the hole right there. We're gonna have to pay for server costs for the online play too. So once we start putting ads on our website and on our videos, hopefully we'll be able to make some of that money back. Not all of it, obviously, but some of it. But the most negative feedback I think we're getting is basically just from the FGC because we didn't show them anything to really inspire confidence in us. Most of that is because we didn't have the art to show it off, our systems, and a lot of it's also because like Smash controls. Because there's actually I'm debating someone over email who is part of the FGC and is friends with like Mike Z, is friends with Chris G, is friends with all those top players and stuff like that, and he knows all of them. And he actually went to Evo and asked them what they thought about my game.
Oh, wow.
Our game and in my balance rather of the game.
What do they think?
It's crap. Because you have to think about it from their perspective. Things like instant inputs. If you could do a Shoryuken instantly,
Yeah.
why would anyone jump?
Right.
Like it would be so overpowering to have a Smash controls like no input time on special attacks, and that's why they say this doesn't work. I argue that I have the cooldown system. Sure, you can, on one button press, I'll make the cooldown 10 seconds. You can only use it once every 10 seconds. Do you really want to waste it on a simple jump in here? And then 2 is I just give it some extra startup time that would account for that. It's not an instant reversal. It takes a second before it comes out. But at the same time, I just want to just allay the fears of the fighting game community that while our primary goal is to make it a game that anyone can pick up and play from a person that's never played a fighter before in their life to a more seasoned veteran and have fun and enjoy it. Simple but deep is kind of the mantra that I have for my design of this game. I want a game that is simple to play, but deep enough and has enough tech skill that it has a rich, fun, competitive play that is enjoyable to watch and enjoyable to be a part of as well, and isn't just because of the name that it has a lot of people coming to play it. It's because it legitimately is a lot of fun to play it in a competitive setting.
It's a high standard, and if you guys put enough work into it, I'm sure. We've been talking about Brawl for years and all that. We were poking little things here and there, like Sakurai should have done this and done this. So I think you've got enough experience. Yeah, it's just a matter of applying it. So you guys can definitely do it.
Hopefully, but we'll see if they pick up the game at all. Like I know a lot of top fighting game community players play LoL. Marn, who was a huge player, he had Team Marn, was actually one of the big teams. What season was it? MASH last season?
Yeah, the last spring split. So like earlier this year, last 6 months.
They weren't that bad. Like they were one of the top teams. They lost, but and they're disbanded now. But that's how big he was in the League of Legends. He made his own team.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Now you guys are right now at the recruiting stage.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the recruiting process.
Go ahead, Mash.
Pretty much we're looking for a couple roles right now. Line artists to draw the champion line art, the animations, coloring to color it in so it looks nice and finished, and then editors to make sure that everything's good. Like if there's a pixel out of place, they go and fix it, and so the final product is very polished and looks nice and works very well. We're also looking for some sound effect guys and typographists. It's all on our join us page, inservice.net/join-us, and there's bunch of roles listed out there. And pretty much, we've been going through a lot of applications. People come in, they say like, okay, I want this role or I want that role, and then we're pretty much putting them through a screening process just to get a sense of their style, so and see how well it meshes with what we have, because everyone's going to be a volunteer, and just there's so many different talented people with different areas of expertise that we just have to find a way to mesh it all together, and that process is going to be quite the journey.
We decided to streamline it from the very beginning, because over 150 to 200 hand-drawn frames is what's required to make a character. Asking one person to draw, color, and edit them, that's a lot
It
of work.
really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you might not be that great at coloring, but you can draw. And we have a lot of people that, like, they draw like a 2-year-old, but they color like friggin', what is his name? Bob Ross, that guy with that PBS. Like, they got some really good coloring skills. So, by splitting up the jobs like this, I think we're streamlining the art process. And, while the ponies took them like 2-3 years to get, 5-6 characters, I think with our streamlined process and with our huge influx of capable artists, if they stick to it, because a lot of artists burn out quickly, but if they stick to it, we really do have potential for this game to come out a lot sooner than people think, because we had that idea, so early in the process to do that.
That's awesome. Now, the one question we have in the chat is, do you have any goal for release?
Release date?
They say release, so determine
Yes.
that as you will.
Yes.
You do want to release the game.
Yes. Yep. We do have a goal. There you go.
There you go.
That's what it was.
Perfect answer. Super and Tony, did you have any questions for them?
No, not entirely. I know so little about League of Legends that I can't really weigh in a whole lot.
It looks
You are
cool,
out
and I'm excited for it. But yeah, I don't. Really.
I will most definitely play it when it comes out.
Yeah,
Almost
no question.
definitely. You'll almost definitely play our free-to-play game.
Dude, that's more than I can say for a lot of them.
I'm just saying that my computer might not be able to run it.
I'll come
Computer
over.
will be able to run it.
Yeah. This is.
Is it from like? Did you get your computer from like after 1995?
No, I believe it was out 2002.
That is actually after 1995.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it should be able to run it.
Yeah.
Should be, being the operative word.
And as long as it's not a Mac either, I think that's also.
Oh.
No, like Macs can use it. We just have to package it together with, because it's gonna be an exe file, so you're just gonna have box thing or Vine or whatever it was.
Wine is a Linux thing.
Oh, sorry, no, like I forget what it was, but like there's a couple third-party programs they can use.
Okay. More than I knew.
Very interesting. If anyone else has any questions in the chat, feel free to spread them out. We'll try to spread them out throughout the show if we get any. But let's move on to our hilarity of the week. Something amusing or just downright sad in a bizarre kind of way. This comes to us from Jeopardy, one of my favorite TV game
Jeopardy
shows.
sent us this story.
Yeah, Jeopardy handpicked Show
Awesome.
Me Your News to get this drop here. It comes from Final Jeopardy, and video game.
Will you edit in the sound
Questions?
for Final Jeopardy in there after you say it?
Boop, boop, boop.
Do.
So, the answer, because Jeopardy, if you don't know, is the game that asks, answers, and forces the players to respond with questions. Says, the title princess of this game, which launched a best-selling franchise, was named for F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife. And so, unfortunately, semantics came into play with this question, answer, what have you. Two of the 3 contestants said Zelda. Technically incorrect. Even though you have, the video game community always refer to The Legend of Zelda as just Zelda. I think they were seeing, the name of the princess, F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, and if you read And you have the comments debating about this whole thing on the Kotaku article we have in our show notes here. But no, the correct answer is what is The Legend of Zelda, because the title princess of this game. And if you know how Jeopardy works, it's always, this something or, something like that. But 2 of the 3 answered Zelda, and then the one who answered The Legend of Zelda got it correct and ended up winning the Jeopardy game.
Whoa.
Yeah, kind of, your thoughts
Get
on
wrecked.
that, guys?
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Well, I mean, in their defense, Jeopardy's defense, Alex Trebek did say, while the Jeopardy is going on, like the name of the what is the name of the franchise? Like he did actually say name of the franchise several times. I think it might have actually been the question, like from what franchise.
Right.
So, yeah, the slang for it is Zelda, but it's The Legend of Zelda. That's the franchise. And show me one game from Zelda that isn't named The Legend of Zelda. Just because I call it Zelda.
Right.
Just because I call it Smash doesn't mean it's Smash. When I tell other people, I don't say I play Smash. I play Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. It's how it works. So I actually think they're right. I actually think they're in the right in this one.
I think Jeopardy is as well. But you have people who are in the comments and even the article itself saying, but we call it Zelda, and that's not right.
Well, it's inclusionist mindset. They want everyone to be like, yeah, we are the game community, and they're on the outside, so they don't get it. That's why they're pandering towards their own audience with that article there.
Right. I don't know. I found it interesting that Jeopardy brings this kind of question up in the first place.
It was pretty cool of them, but I still think like the way they worded the answer was a little bit misleading, because they did say like the title princess, named after F. Fitzgerald's wife, because like the last time I checked, no one names their kid The Legend of Zelda.
Right.
It,
It was just Robin Williams naming his kid Zelda.
Right.
Yeah, just Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Legend
I'm
of.
actually following her on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, she's actually a gamer and she's kind of cool. She did an AMA, I think, at one point. So
Oh.
On the Zelda game where it doesn't say The Legend of Zelda. Link's crossbow training. That's it.
Oh.
But that
Oh.
doesn't count.
Good find. Good find.
I lose.
What about the Zelda CDI games? Do they?
Nope, they're all Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
Yeah.
blaspheming.
I'm going
Zelda.
through because I'm like, there's got to be one.
But you got it, Link's Crossbow Training. That was a legit game, man. That's like
That's true.
that was the best game on the Wii for a long
It
time.
was $20.
Yeah.
That was
I
such
think
a
I got it
weird
sitting
game.
around.
Was that the one where you shot the balloons that were flying up with the controller thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the it came bundled with the Wii Zapper.
Mm-hmm.
The,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
shotgun and all that.
It was very odd that you fought the Twilight Fossil as the last boss.
Oh yeah, when it's like just after the mid-game boss. Yeah, that's strange.
God, I forgot about that Tingle Japanese game.
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna count that.
Just any
No.
Tingle
Oh.
game. Well, we've got some more to get through here in the next half hour or so. Let's start with, we have our story pool, some extra stories that didn't, break our headlines. It actually involves League of Legends. There was the kid who had the League of Legends match, went on Facebook, and then said something really stupid, and then the parent in another country saw the comment, made connections. He got arrested. An anonymous person posted $500,000 of bail. And now he still has to, go to court to kind of, plead his case. If convicted of this, terrorism threat, could face up to 10 years in jail for sarcasm on the internet. We kind of talked about this last weekend, but I don't know, Samurai Panda, MASH, I mean, if you had any thoughts about this bizarre story.
People are stupid.
Watch out
This
who
is-
you're flaming.
There you go.
This is some Big Brother level crap, and it's actually quite frightening, to be honest.
It really
It's
is.
parent level crap. This is just what Facebook has become. It's not just something for your friends. It's something like that everyone pretty much sees. So this is
Just-
idiot kids learning that. Guess what? Facebook isn't, what it was, or I guess in their case, it never was that for them. But
Yeah, 'cause
Although
I've
we
known
do
people
speak.
who got-
Sorry, go ahead.
I said I've known people who've gotten in trouble and fired from their jobs from things they posted on Facebook. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
nothing to me, but you just have to be aware of the consequences of what you put out there because once you put it out there, it's there.
But still, I don't think this kid's life should have been ruined.
Yeah, I think
Utterly ruined.
fired from your job is one thing, but
Yeah.
put in jail.
Well, yeah,
At
of course
$500,000
you're right
bail?
there, but
Just share funny pictures like I do, and you'll be okay.
well, as long as the funny pictures don't involve you, getting high or stuff like that.
Right.
Did you guys see
Because-
the one about stepping on a Lego?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I've been
love
seeing
that
them.
one.
You're like the fourth person who's reblogged that towards me.
Shut up.
I probably saw it on Reddit.
Something about how
Probably.
you cry from which eye.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
sad or happy, and then it's like you cry from both eyes if you step on a Lego.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
It
seen
was
that.
probably on Reddit. Everything I think goes through Reddit first, and then just shows up various other places.
Although you mentioned like this is what Facebook has become now. I mean, Panda, Mash, and I, we kind of come from a different perspective on that. We all went to the University of Michigan, as mentioned. We were all roommates for 1 year, but we came from a time where we were like the Facebook hipsters when it was for college students only for specific universities.
Oh wow!
And Michigan was one of those first universities. And so we kind of come from a different perspective of, I remember the good old Facebook days, and not just saying like, oh, a couple updates ago, like,
Yeah, this is from a long time
initial
ago.
days, like 2005, 2006. So when we say this is what Facebook has become, the good old times, we're kind of coming from a different angle there.
The new updates do suck though.
They kind of do, yeah. Tony, you mentioned the Ratchet and Clank game Into the Nexus for PS3 this year. You're excited for that?
Yeah, it's a freaking platformer. They're doing it. They've done like, and I'm kind of like, yeah, this is awesome to see like one last hurrah for Ratchet on PS3. But there's another big part of me that hasn't kept up with the story since Crack in Time. So it's like, okay, I gotta read 6 comic books that I got. I gotta play All for One, and then I gotta look up the story on whatever that last Full Frontal Assault. Yeah, because this stuff does sequentially happen. So if they bring up one joke, I want to get it.
It does
The
look
entire
nice,
experience
for
is
what it's worth.
ruined if a joke falls flat.
It does, dude. And not even I don't think Full Frontal Assault is as big a deal. I think it's just new villain and whatever. But Nefarious, who was a big villain in the third game in Crack in Time, he was like lost, and then he came. Oh, excuse me. He came back in All for One, so it's like, what's going on with him? What happened after that game? Did he go to jail? I need to know what happened to him in case he comes back again. Because he is as close as a Bowser as this series has as a recurring villain-wise. But yeah, it looks fantastic, and I can't wait.
It does look pretty cool. And then, on a sad note, Ryan Davis from Giant Bomb passing away, that was shocking. And just really depressing. I mean, I don't know, how many of our listeners, frequented Giant Bomb stuff, but even remembering him back from, the GameSpot days, really prominent game journalist, in the online space, and, just a genuinely funny, nice person. And, just a few days after his wedding, too, at age 34, it was announced several days after it actually happened when he passed away. So it just came out of nowhere, and that was a blindsiding, and it's tough.
I can't say I'm a frequent listener, but I have listened to not an episode or two, and I really did enjoy it. It was really good stuff. So it does, and we were talking about this too. How like I was really bummed out when Game Grumps when like John left,
Right.
just because it was like something like hugely part of my routine, and I can totally understand people not even knowing the guy being horribly upset because they listen to this podcast so frequently, and then it's just somebody you feel like you know is like gone. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just
sucks.
a podcast for him. I mean, like, he was the editor-in-chief of the Giant Bomb website. And yeah, you're right. And at least with John, like, he's moved on
He's
to
not
different
dead.
ventures. But, like, the people who were, saying, like, R.I.P. JonTron, like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
He's fine. Yeah, this is much more real and
Real life.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a tough story to see come across the wire.
Definitely.
I mean, the worst part, in my opinion, is that getting married and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
like
That
God.
should have been the new chapter of like happiness in his life, and it just ended. It's terrible.
I mean, for his wife too, and
Oh,
widow.
yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
Mhm.
Well, the games that were out recently, the past couple weeks.
There's no good way to
I know.
segue
I'm
from
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you did a good job there.
I gave it pause. I'm sorry.
that.
Moment
No,
of
I
silence.
wasn't giving you crap. I'm just saying there's no way
I
you
know.
could have done that.
And speaking of games that are not dead,
Oh man.
Metal Gear Solid: The Legacy Collection, collection of games on PlayStation 3. You get pretty much every Metal Gear Solid game, mainline game. You get a PSN voucher for Metal Gear Solid. You get the 2 original Metal
And you
Gears.
get the one for what's the expansion called? I'm stupid. VR
Oh, yeah. What is
Integral? I think it's
Yeah,
Integral.
Right. You get the HD collection, including 2, 3, and Peace Walker HD, and then you get 4 with the
4
trophy update.
Yeah, with the patch on the disc. And
So
the disc
if you
does
have like
look
all
different.
those separately, I mean,
And you
it's
get a
not-
nice little book.
That's
I got.
true.
I'm meaning. I'll do this after the show. I'll take pictures because I bought the damn thing.
Oh,
It is a hell of a value for $50 too. By the way, if you don't have
$50.
it,
Wow.
I just traded my HD collection towards it. I want to keep 4 because that's like the original copy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still have the original 2 and 3 on PS2. So
Right.
I have the originals of those. So I'm like, well, I'll just get rid of HD collection and just. It's a really beautiful little box, and the
It's
discs
also
are a
been
little
pretty
different.
tough to find in stores, at least here.
It's tough
So,
to find.
I mean,
Hello?
if you pre-ordered it, maybe you wouldn't have as much difficulty. But just trying to go in and buy it from scratch, good luck finding it. It
Yeah.
seems like a limited edition thing. If you have a PS3 and you're interested in getting in the series, or if you just want to replay them all, definitely go pick it up. It's a good deal.
$50 is ridiculous
Yeah.
because it's got Metal Gear 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
like not solid 1 and 2 from like only over in Japan on the subsistence disc on 3.
Yep.
It's a hell of a deal, hell of a value for $50.
Mm-hmm.
And an art book I haven't even looked through yet.
NCAA Football 14 is also out, every year. Now it's kind of come under some interesting changes because NCAA have ended their contract with EA Sports following this year. Now, EA Sports has signed a 3-year deal with the college licensing company, who is in charge of all, the jersey images, the likenesses of the Heisman Trophy, things like this. So they will probably still be doing a college football game for at least the next few years, but it would just be like college football 15. This seems like it's going to be the last NCAA football, at least in name only, year. It does have a player from the University of Michigan, so I'm partial to that one. I have not picked it up. I think I'd be waiting for next gen to really give a lot of these sports games another try again. But interesting developments with that, at least. And then you also have Shin Megami Tensei 4 on 3DS, the American release here. Nintendo, for their eShop, has a deal going on where if you register the eShop versions of Fire Emblem Awakening and this game, which, they're about $40 a piece. I think Shin Megami Tensei 4, if you get the normal version, like the cartridge and all that, it comes packaged with extra stuff, so it's actually $50. But then if you buy those 2 games and register them before August, you get $30 in eShop credit back, and that's a pretty good deal considering
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo. And
Have you heard about the Atlas maybe going under thing?
yeah, there's this thing going with Atlas and their parent company in Japan filing for bankruptcy, but I don't think they're in any real danger.
They've said like 8 times now because they keep getting asked. No, like it's not affecting us. So
And thank goodness, because Atlas is one of those the few companies that gets it right.
Oh yeah.
I honestly wish that I just had time to play video games.
Right.
Yeah,
You're saying Shin Megami Tensei 4 came out for 3DS, and I'm like, damn, I still haven't even touched Luigi's Mansion, and I own that game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
It's like I bought it. I was like, this seems like a short game I can play. I haven't turned it on.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Speaking of Luigi, this isn't on there, but real quickly, Mario and Luigi 4 came out in every other country, I think, besides America.
Comes out in America
Yeah.
August 11th, so yeah. I don't know, that's
Everyone
a good
else
point.
has got it.
Video
Enjoy
Game
it.
Guru also mentions that I forgot to put this on the list because it was literally a last-minute
Oh, yeah,
announcement.
yeah.
Earthbound. Earthbound
Yep.
came out for Wii U Virtual Console, and it was literally the day of. There's like, here's a mini Nintendo Direct. You know that Earthbound thing we were talking about? That's today. So that was pretty neat of them. So
I wanted to say on the Mario and Luigi 4, I actually was just browsing stuff yesterday, and it was like, let's play Mario and Luigi 4, and I'm like, alright. And I clicked it, and it was like German. It was like a German Let's Player, which was pretty funny.
Mario und Luigi.
And to make it funnier, to me at least, it's just like, it had like the level up screen, and instead of level 20, it said ERF 20.
Earth.
ERF.
Earth. Okay.
Like, well, I know what level means. Over in Germany now.
No kidding. All right, we've got about, let's see, 15, 20 minutes, I think, left in the episode here. So let's
Quick
get
rant.
to, do quick rants here with our soapbox, and then we'll do a little quick metagame thing. My soapbox is about The Legend of Korra. And this book 1 came out in March of last year. So it's been a while. And now with Comic-Con happening, and we would talk more about Comic-Con, but let's be honest, it's not a place where a lot of video game news comes out of. But they
Cool
did...
stuff, but
I guess so. Anyway, they had a trailer released for The Legend of Korra Book 2. And after finished watching it, I'm like, I want this show back in my life so much. Just gorgeous animation. And it's tough. They're in a tough place because that was designed as a one-season spin-off show. It was supposed to end right there. And then it became really popular as, the follow-up to Avatar: The Last Airbender, that they have been tasked with, 2 more seasons, 2 more books. And so now they come off this, kind of rushed finale, and they're trying to add new things. You see certain things in the trailer, like the bird from the library in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
which I always thought
Looks
was
like
cool.
it might be like a flashback or something like that. We'll see. And then there's also a clip that is kind of made its way out on the internet with it's an actual clip from the episode. So things like Mako is now a cop. Bolin is still trying to have the Fire Ferrets be a pro-bending team. But when you don't have your brother and the Avatar on the team, it makes for challenging times. And then Korra seems like a whiz now at using airbending when it was such a struggle last season. So, coming out September 2013, I need this show back in my life, and it's really exciting to see a trailer coming out for The Legend of Korra from Comic-Con. Tony.
So The Simpsons and The Family Guy are going to do crossover.
Yeah.
And I love the stance that I would have took like 5 years ago maybe, because like McFarlane was my hero, and I've since found his humor completely unclever, the easiest jokes, the most offensive jokes. Like it's so not good anymore. And I feel like the writers did try, like all the way to like season 6 maybe, but then they're like, whatever, it's a racist joke, write it down. It's funny because we're offensive and we don't have to try. And now I'm like, man, Simpsons, you don't need that. Because, like, they're going to Springfield. Like, that's the story is the Griffins are going to Springfield. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait for them to go to the Quickie Mart and say that something funny about Apu being an Indian. And, like, the Simpsons are still, like, charming characters, at least. Like,
Did we have this conversation where, when you have a running show for so long, like, they've kind of just made the characters a little more bland for The Simpsons?
Yeah, bland, yes, but still like charming, and they have this history. Everyone in Quahog are just bastards. Like they've just degenerated in the same kind of vein, but to be like the worst kind of characters ever. It was like Joe was like this cop, a very able cop, and now he's just this horrible victim who can't walk, and Quagmire is just like a rapist, molester, just like instead of just this ladies' man, and it just the most base offensive thing they could think of because it was funny. And at least, The Simpsons has gotten mediocre, but it's still, there's heart to the characters, I feel like.
Right.
and I just feel bad for Springfield when the Griffins get there. Also, there's going to be a Futurama Simpsons crossover, which should be
Yep.
much better.
That should be, yeah.
Less style clashing, because I don't know how they're going to do that with Family Guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Because the style clashing,
Oh, yeah.
just yellow people and then
Mm,
weird McFarlane designs.
yeah.
At least Futurama looks the same style, because it was drawn by the same guy. But yeah, that's
true.
all I got.
I hate that they're doing that, to be honest.
I do too.
Can't stand it.
Futurama
Panda,
would be good.
what's your soapbox?
My soapbox is that recently, so at the San Diego Comic-Con, Capcom was asked, of course, that's all fighting game stuff, 'cause it's all been done recently. Capcom was asked, what are they going to do about Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3? Are you guys going to patch it? There were infinites found recently, and, there are some issues with the game. So Capcom's like, well, we're still trying to get the relicensing issues, like, because Marvel and everything like that. Like, it was hard enough to make the game, and now to patch the game apparently is really difficult too. But because it's so successful for Street Fighter 4, what do you guys think? Like, let the fans discuss possible changes to the game. And it's like, are you seriously just doing that? Are you really just gonna like bait and switch your fans? You're just gonna like give them this sliver of hope just to appease them, to let them chew on when you're never gonna do anything about it?
How did that work out for Mega Man Legends 3?
Yeah, right?
Mm.
I mean, it just to me is kind of
Still
a
stings.
complete dick move on Capcom's part there, because like you're giving people false hope. Because Marvel right now, I think, is the most hype fighting game in the community right now. It has the most viewers, the most exciting to watch. It's just, the biggest names all play it. Like, sure, Street Fighter 4 had more entrants in Evo, because I think that obviously has a lot more international appeal. It had a lot of Japanese entrants too. Like, Marvel was a close second, and was still, intense and really fun to watch. And I don't know if you guys watched it, but like the top 8 of Marvel was just awesome stuff this year.
I watched a lot of it, yes.
Yeah, wasn't it enjoyable even if you never played the game?
Yeah, it was actually really fun to watch, and watching Wong get as far as he did.
Mm-hmm. That Wong. Oh god, that Wong.
The Wong.
But I mean, Marvel, I think really, if it had the support that Street Fighter 4 did, with the constant balancing and the new, patches that come out with new characters and stuff like that, I think could really explode even bigger, make the fighting game niche just wider. And it just, to me, it's just a really annoying move on Capcom's part to just give us this little bit of hope and say, like, maybe if you guys talk about it more, we'll get the licensing. No, that's not going to help worth crap. You're just trying to get fans to,
Talk about your stuff.
exactly talk about your stuff and just,
I feel like they just make a 4.
I wouldn't
patching
mind, but they don't have the licensing issues to make a patch for the game. They can't make a 4 yet.
Much less a full game.
I'm just saying if they were to get, the licensing stuff figured out, they'd just be like, well, let's just make a lot more money and do 4.
Oh
I
man,
disagree with you.
Ultimate
I think
Marvel
that people
vs. Capcom 4 would have Mickey Mouse.
I just think that 4 wouldn't do well. Actually, I disagree with you that they would think that, because Ultimate was released like a few months after. I think because of licensing issues again. The first game came out, and that had such a huge backlash.
Well,
that,
they did it wrong. It's been like a few years now. It wasn't 6 months like, here, you got to buy this new game.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, everyone loves 3. And if they just tweaked 3 some more and just added a couple more characters here and there, that would be more than enough for, I think, most fans to...
Look, I'm not saying it would work, but I'm saying I think they would think it would work because they're dumb.
Capcom's been making a lot of smarter choices in the last couple of years. I would have agreed with you 2 years ago. Now, I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. Didn't Resident Evil 6 come out last year?
That's a Resident Evil game, though. And those you don't really make, like, expansion packs to. You make sequels.
I'm just saying that was a dumb decision.
What do you think about Strider HD? Because Double Helix is developing it, but it's still Capcom's property.
Yeah, it looks dumb.
It looks dumb. Why?
Did you watch the trailer?
A little bit. It looked like Strider.
Yeah, that looks dumb.
Do you not like the
Metroidvania.
No, I didn't think Strider was a very good game. I thought it was like an overhyped game, and it was like okay, but like it was more like at the time probably was a big deal. I mean, it just looks like they're bringing back the exact same formula. Hmm?
What do you think of DuckTales?
Same.
Really?
And I love DuckTales. I grew up with that shit.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna play it. It's funny as hell they're doing it. I think that's cute.
Oh yeah,
I
no
hope
question.
it makes some money.
Just you're not for the rehashing, pretty much.
No, I'm okay with it, but it's like if you just rehash it without innovating at all, without
I
bringing it to the
understand
next
that.
level, like the Strider game. My problem with it was it just looked like a Strider
Same
game.
thing.
It didn't look like the evolved Strider. You know,
I think they said they're adding new levels to DuckTales.
levels. Also,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know, like give me new gameplay elements. Not like Mario games where they added like one new suit. I mean, like new gameplay elements.
No, I understand.
You want them to sunshine it?
Yeah, actually, I do. I thought
Dude, I
Sunshine
love
was a
Sunshine.
completely
Yes.
different game.
Good.
Yeah,
More
it
people
was
for the
the wrong
Sunshine
direction.
Alliance. I don't know. I love Sunshine myself.
I do
so
too.
See, there you go.
I thought that was amazing in all aspects, but that's just kind of what Nintendo does.
No, you just say they do amazing things, or they innovate.
Uh,
Neither of those are true.
Not in
I
the
don't
last
know.
generation, I feel like. At least with the GameCube, they were doing like Metroid Prime and. I don't
They didn't
know,
do
it's a little
crap with
different.
Metroid Prime. What are you talking about?
No,
They had to
actually,
license
yeah,
it
you're
out.
right.
Yeah.
Like
Star
their innovation.
Fox, everyone
is, like,
loves
they're
that
not
Dinosaur
making-
Planet.
What?
Nothing.
I just heard Dinosaur Planet and then immediately
really.
Yeah,
cringed.
I think your argument kind of fizzled away with that one.
It
Ash,
did.
Ash, let's get on your soapbox.
So gaming consoles have been banned since the year 2000 in China, and recently they're trying to make a free trade area in Shanghai, and so there's a lot of lobby and a lot of people trying to push the ability to sell consoles again in China, and it's been around in the news a little bit, and I'm just kind of glad because then my cousins can play the same games I do because we haven't been able to play the same games because I play a lot of console games and they've never heard of them, you know. And there's a big underground community though, about like 1 million people, still like 500% of the population of China, but still there's people who play console games, but like it's really shady and underground. So
Yeah, black market, illegally acquired. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm pretty glad that it's happening.
That's cool. I mean, you're saying, is it something that's in the works, or has it been confirmed, or?
I think they're talking to they've banned it, banned consoles based on the idea, or based on the fact that they think that the games themselves are either too violent or may have, bring up certain issues the government may not be comfortable with.
Right.
And so they have like 7 or 8 different ministries lording over it, saying, okay, this can't work, this can't work. And what they're doing is that they're openly talking to each one of the ministries now, and it's in discussion. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so I think on a technicality it could work, but and at least they're pushing for it. At least people are talking about it. So I'm hoping that it actually falls through.
I hope so too. That'd be great. I mean, more games for everyone.
Wow, I really didn't even know about the whole thing. And now I'm looking into it. I'm just like, I'm going to have a lot of reading to do.
Absolutely. I encourage every one of our listeners to do that. Super, your soapbox.
I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Project M because that's what I'm known for. 2.6, very, very solid patch. Meta Knight is a lot of fun, and he is not nearly as broken as he was in Brawl.
Thank goodness.
And I'm so glad that they were able to pull that that line that was in the game, but you couldn't access it, which is the now my power is without rival.
Yeah,
That was in Brawl. You just couldn't access it in any way.
that's true.
So
a
I'm-
lot of things were in Brawl that you couldn't
Yeah.
access.
I'm really glad to see that through. Meta Knight's down B is amusing, and I could really see this character becoming high to maybe even top tier material on his own merits, not just pressing B all day.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. I thought he was a really interesting, not broken character when I was jumping around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this seems balanced.
Yeah.
The tornado is
He's
better.
not-
It's still effective, but it's not ridiculous.
Yeah,
Not nearly
it's-
as like 12 seconds long or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get about 7% out of it, but it's a great movement option too. So, side B, I cannot figure out for the life of me what makes it truly useful. It really doesn't seem that great any way I look at it. Down B is mildly telegraphed, but I could see it working out as I just hit you with the weak hit of my Nair, L cancel into down B into, stringing it along in a combo. Those kind of things.
Back air is nice.
Back air is ridiculous. It's just so fast, and it's got such good range, and it's so powerful, and it does like 12 damage, 12%, which is it's just this ridiculous move. That said, it's got some good cooldown on it as well.
Yeah.
So, also
you
L
can't spam that to edge guard.
L canceling his dare is all sorts of ridiculous because there's like no lag on that if you L cancel it right. It's like you'll hit the ground L cancel and be moving within 5 frames.
Wow.
It's just so fast and it's just so fun. My character Sonic got nerfed to hell. One of the Project M backroom members, who basically runs this kind of pseudo tier list. We've had him on the show once, Strong Bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. He had the 2.5B tier list, and Sonic was at the top of that. And when they released this, it's like, this is what I believe the tier list is now. And Sonic is way down in, not bottom tier, but pretty low tier.
Sonic tier again.
Is he in Sonic tier?
He's in Sonic tier,
I
and
want to fist bump Yoko, but he's in Michigan.
Yep.
well, let's just drive there.
You
You know
can
how
fist
to get
bump
there.
Panda too. That's his idea.
Oh, I know. That's why I wanted
The
to say
Sonic
it.
tier back in our Brawl review
Yes.
days.
Was that my idea?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
was.
that was part of your video review.
I don't have a very high opinion of Sonic.
Yeah, I don't blame you sometimes, but these days he's got some good games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sonic. This
But
was the
no
Sonic nerf
Knuckles
patch.
still.
No Knuckles. Yeah, we got to thank those guys, Shattuck and Yurok for coming on that Project M special. I mean, gosh, we had almost over 500 people
Hello?
watching our stream. I mean, that was fantastic. Got to
Hello?
really thank them. Yes, good times. No,
Okay.
So hopefully
Yeah,
we'll get to speak with them more about the future developments of Project M as well.
Totally.
Yeah. All in all, Project M 2.6, good times.
Excellent. So to wrap up the show here, we usually have a thought here, just a random question posed, but I figured this is Solid Snake 120's idea when we had our 6th-year anniversary shenanigans. This is the metagame, and it's a card game where from these black cards you're asked a question, just a general question about a video game, more comparative of the two. So something like, which game is funnier? Which game is more important to history? Things like this. Then you have a bunch of these white cards, which are video games, like a game on each card. And so we figured, we'd pose a question just drawn from the top of this deck, and then we'd have teams, and I would be the judge of whoever has the best argument. So if I draw a deck from the top of the card here, just to wrap up this podcast, and we say, which is a better way to waste 2 minutes?
Oh boy.
Which game is a better way to waste 2 minutes? I'm going to take these cards from the top of the deck. Just, normally you'd have a hand of 5 cards, and you'd get to pick one. But I think for the sake of the podcast, you're just going to draw one off the top of the deck, and that's what you have to argue.
I hope Smash Brothers card doesn't come up because that's just not fair.
So we're gonna have Samurai Panda and Mashimuro basically be on a team to try to argue one game, and then Super and Tony on the other team. And usually you get a limit of 2 minutes to argue, but forever, however as long as you can go. Super and Tony, do you want to draw first or second?
Let's draw a second.
Draw a second.
Yeah.
Panda and Mash, your game is for which is a better way to waste 2 minutes? Fruit Ninja. Now,
Do we just go or
wait, let's wait for Super
Whatever
and
you wanna
Tony.
do.
Your game is Gran Turismo.
Did we just win?
I think you just won.
Make your argument. Go.
Haven't you ever played, or aren't I supposed to go first, or?
I don't care. Who
Doesn't
goes
matter.
first.
Do however you want it.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. We've
Uh,
got construction on this house here.
That's
Not
when
what
your
it
chair
sounded
will
like.
fall through the floor.
Someone go.
It's Fruit Ninja. I yield the rest of my time to Panda.
But I mean, this is Fruit Ninja. I mean, it's a mobile game. You have 2 minutes. You're at a lecture or something like that, or you're going to the bathroom at work and you just feel like taking your time and enjoying it. You bust out Fruit Ninja. It's just something to do. It's active. It's fun. It's competitive, and it's perfect for a 2-minute break.
I don't know, man. We're talking about Gran Turismo. Those cars go fast, and your lap times, depending on the course, but if you choose the right course, you can have them under a minute. You can work on your lap times. You can go for your fastest lap, and then you can go for the world records as well. And yeah, about under 2 minutes, because there ain't any course you're gonna go through where the lap is gonna be over 2 minutes unless you're bad at the game.
Yeah.
And
Are you
booting
bad
up
at
the
the game?
console, though, it takes longer than 2 minutes.
That doesn't count for the 2 minutes, I don't think.
Yeah. I would have to
You
go
can-
out and buy an iPad, and that's gonna take me more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, man.
But
Gotta
then you
set
can
it
have
up.
your cat play that iPad, play Fruit Ninja, and that's a pretty good way of wasting 2 minutes as well.
My cat that I don't have can play the hell out of Gran Turismo.
That's
It's got a
skills.
9-cat decal on the side.
If that was
It's
true,
bad
you'd
for
be a
me.
millionaire right now. I'm just saying.
I would. I'm not investing my money correctly. I mean, in
I
2
don't know.
minutes, you can get the car color and the tires and everything the way you want it. And then when you do have time to play, you got the perfect car ready.
In 2 minutes, you can cut over 30 different kinds of fruit.
But there's bananas and pineapples
them.
and oranges and watermelons.
There's apples
That's
and
like
green apples.
7.
Damn.
That's not even like 2 different things.
And you get to be a ninja.
Hey,
Alright.
becoming a ninja takes time and effort.
Yeah, about 2 whole minutes.
All right, so as a judge, I gotta say that one is not fair. Fruit Ninja
Yeah,
would win
pretty
that
much.
one.
Not,
So-
not even a thing.
So that's the meta game. Really fun game.
Mark
I
would have
think
gave us Gran Turismo.
that's true. If you had Sword Hunter here, he might be able to swing that one around in your favor. But that would be like the gist of the game. You can buy it from the Museum of Modern Art for about $25, I believe, is the starter pack for that one. Fun time with friends, and so we'll try to have a little bit, just a thought-provoking question at the end of each show here. But the guys, Samurai Panda, Mashimaru, I mean, Team Instaburst. Feel free to plug your stuff. Where can they find you guys at?
Instaburst.net, at Instaburst, and Facebook.com/Instaburst.
If you go to the homepage, they got the Facebook, the Twitters, the Twitches, and everything on the side, too.
All sorts
Yeah.
of stuff. And the game you're
Follow
working on.
everything.
There you go. And the game you're working on is League of Fighters.
Yes, sir, it is. And check it out when it comes out. Follow along with the news and get hype.
And apply. If you think you can help the team, by all means apply.
Totally.
As long as you don't draw on a napkin,
I'm a-
we're cool with that.
Yeah, we need less napkins.
Less napkins.
Now, I hear there's a napkin drawing fighting game that you can apply for somewhere else. But
Maybe
I would
that'll
actually
be your
check that out.
million view YouTube game is the napkin drawing game.
But see, that's one that you might be able to kickstart.
That's
So-
true.
So,
That's
so go
true.
for it. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Fun to have you back, as always. And really, really just a good time.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
No
Thanks for having
problem.
us.
So, with that, I am Yoko.
I'm super.
I'm Tony.
And this is where you guys give your little sign off.
Oh,
Mashimaru.
I'm Samurai Panda.
All right. We're out. Have a good one, guys.